What's up, y'all?
What's going on, everybody?
Y'all, we are doing a
Yes, we are.
reaction, and
What?
it's German reacts to top 10 reasons not to live in Germany. Our friend Felicia is
Hey,
reacted
listen.
to that.
If I had a top, I would spin it. Right? Isn't that what it is? In Inception, isn't that the last scene? You spin the
Yeah,
top. Who are we? Man, this is meta right here, guys.
Inception. This is the world we live in. This is 2024 and
A reaction of a possible reaction. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Top 10 reasons not to live in Germany. The YouTuber World According to Briggs has uploaded a video with exactly that title. So I'd say let's watch together and I'll let you know what I think about it as a German, which of the mentioned points are true and which ones are simply wrong.
All right, so I follow that channel, World According to Briggs, and he does a lot of good work with his channel, Top 10 Places to Live, top 10 places in North Carolina, top 10 places in Europe. So this is his bread and butter.
I feel like the top tens. Oh my god, I did a top 5 on my other channel. My god, did the wackadoos come out? Oh my god, did the hate start spewing? And I'm like, I get it, because a top 5, top 10 is very divisive, and a lot of times people forget that it is opinionated.
Yeah.
It's like my top 10 are not going to be your top 10, most likely.
And vice versa.
Yeah. So I'm going to be interested, because I'm going to be watching the video, obviously, with Felicia. And also, I want to hear what she has to say, because this is like super cool for me to like, oh, now we have a German looking at that. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah. Before we go back in, yes, we know what happened here. Quit commenting that. We heard you the first time.
Freaking redacted.
Yes.
It was she picked a very, very sensitive name to put up there.
Hallo, Servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia, and I'm a German who has been living off and on in Cincinnati, Ohio since 2016. Top 10 reasons not to live in Germany. That's the title of a video that was uploaded just last week on a YouTube channel called World According to Briggs. So of course, I had to watch it and see if I agree with those 10 reasons. Because as I've mentioned in my personal Q&A video 2 weeks ago, there definitely are things that I don't like about Germany, but then again, none of those things are the reason that I don't live there right now. For those of you who don't know this, I'm from Munich, which is in Bavaria, so the south of Germany. I was born and raised there, and I also went to college there, so I didn't leave Germany until I was 22. Initially, I only came to the US for an exchange semester, but then I ended up coming back, and now I'm here as a permanent resident. But I'm not in the US because Germany is an awful place to live in. It absolutely isn't. I'm here because I personally wanted some change and because I love the American culture. But who knows, maybe this person really did find 10 reasons that I can agree with why moving to Germany isn't the best idea. Let's just watch the video together and I'll share my thoughts with you. Okay, so
all right, any early predictions of what might be on this list?
I think the title did its job of the video, right? I feel like maybe this would be more so along the lines of maybe the top 10 reasons not to move to Germany. But yeah. I don't think you're convincing Germans to leave Germany with these top 10 reasons.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that might be my prediction is how it comes off, because I've never seen the original video, obviously.
Right. I just have an idea of the style of video that World According to Briggs puts out, and he might ruffle some feathers.
I feel like yeah. I mean, rightfully so. It has to. You can't just have a top 10 and not ruffle feathers. So.
Case in point.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this, man.
Let's go.
So you can't really see that, but I have my laptop right here. So I'm gonna be watching it down here, and I'll put it for you right here. Okay, before I hit play, let's start with the thumbnail. I don't know what this woman is wearing, but it's definitely not traditional German clothing. I think the pants are supposed to look like Lederhosen like we say, but they're definitely not. Looks more like a Halloween costume to me, but okay. Thumbnails aren't always about accuracy.
They're not? Are you serious? What? What?
That blows my mind.
No way.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the world according to Briggs. I hope you're all being safe and healthy. Remember, we're all in this together. Take care of yourself and each other. Now let's get back to roasting places. This is an international video. Today we are looking at Deutschland. Germany. Germany is probably one of the top 10 most historic countries on the planet. They have a lot of history, both good and a whole bunch of bad. The good news is they've put most of that bad about 70 years in the rearview mirror. Germany is now an economic power with a great Oktoberfest. The people...
Okay, I hate it when someone says we have a great Oktoberfest. We have the Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is not a franchise. The Oktoberfest takes place in Munich, but oh well.
We already did that video. We know it's not Oktoberfest, it's the Oktoberfest. All around the world, it's just a cheap imitation.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, Germany? Oh, I hear they have a good Oktoberfest. Like, no. They have the OG. Like they started this shit.
They have the Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
People are wonderfully welcoming, and it's a great place to visit. But like every location on this planet, it has some problems. And that's what we're looking at today. Things you might need to know before you visit Germany. Some of these things might make you not want to visit them. Some of them you just probably want to be aware of. So let's get started. Number 10. High crime. Germany has seen a rise in crime in the last 5 years. The country has an open door policy, which means anyone can wander into the country whenever they want. And they've learned this leads to more crime. When you can't track people down, they tend to do stupid stuff. The crime rate in Germany for 2018 was 6,710 crimes per every 100,000 residents. That's up from 4,200 per every 100,000 residents in 2014. And when the 2020 numbers come out, they're looking to be higher. There was a sharp increase in the number of murders committed in Germany, with 901 murders recorded in 2018. That's the highest since 2000, when there was 930. Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen had the highest regional crime rates in the whole country. Ask any German like I did, and they will tell you it all changed in 2015. About the same time, hundreds of thousands of refugees began entering the country from war-torn Syria and other places like that. The number of murders increased by 14.6%, and the unauthorized use of another person's body rose by 8%. You know what that is? I can't say it because I don't want to get demonetized.
Okay, let's stop right here because this was already a whole lot of information, and I have a lot to say about this because a lot of these things are just flat out wrong. So let's back up and go over it together. I'm going to mention some numbers, and just to give you guys an idea of what ballpark we're in, Germany is generally considered a very safe country compared to other countries in the world. An indicator for this is often the murder rate, and in 2018 there were 1.1 murders per 100,000 residents in Germany, while there were 5 per 100,000 residents in the US, so almost 5 times as many as in Germany.
Number 10.
Oh my goodness.
But okay, hear me out on this. Like, you have your cities. Cities have bad areas across the country, across the globe.
You're talking the United States, right?
No, I'm talking about
all
the
world,
globe.
all the world. Yeah.
Like the globe. Some parts of cities are just not desirable to wander through. You got to keep your wits about you, you know?
Yeah.
And they're melting pots. So I'm just saying, like, it would be like comparing or basing the murder rate of Baltimore and just being like, oh no, US is not safe. Because in Baltimore, there's a killing or a stabbing usually 3 or 4 times a day. And then just applying that across the board, like where you have Minnesota, which has like 10 people living in it. You know, it's you can't. I don't know, man. I don't think that's obviously that's a huge piece of it could be misconstrued very easily.
Right, and I know a lot of people in the comments are gonna come after you and be like, "Well, U.S. has higher crime and murder rates compared to the rest of the world. But I get what you're saying. It's like you can't just single out one area and apply it to every other place. I know that's what you're trying to. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like like you got Baltimore. You can't be compared to some little podunk town in Minnesota. Not comparable. So I mean, I understand, but when you talk about this kind of stuff, that's a tough one. I feel like it's where you are. Knowing the murder rate doesn't dissuade me from going to a country, because that's a given.
Mm-hmm. There's bad people everywhere.
Yeah, that's a given. That murder rate thing doesn't like, oh, I'm not going to go there. Like, no.
Yeah, I think back to the original point is like, what did Briggs get wrong about the murder rate versus Feli's
breakdown of it?
Like, which is correct? I don't know. From what I've learned so far through this German thing is that they're generally a bit more relaxed after something happened.
Yeah.
I won't say what it is. We already talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, we're just at number 10 here.
Number 10, damn.
Yeah, it's going to be a long video, y'all.
Hell yeah.
Get your popcorn.
High crime. Germany has seen a rise in crime in the last 5 years.
Okay, that's not true. Since he's talking about the statistics from 2018, 5 years would mean that there was a rise in crime since 2013, and that's not the case, as you can see here. To be fair, the crime rate did go up a little bit after 2013, so in 14, 15, and 16 it was rising, but then right in 2017 it went below the numbers from 2013 and has been decreasing ever since.
The country has an open door policy, which means anyone can wander into the country whenever they want. And they've learned this leads to more crime.
Okay, Germany does not have an open door policy in that sense that people can literally just walk into our country and stay if they want to. We have taken in a lot of refugees, especially in 2015, which I'm assuming that's what Briggs is referring to here, but those people had refugee status. It's not like anyone can just come to Germany and stay there forever if they want to. It's definitely easier to immigrate to Germany legally than immigrating to the US, but it's not like there aren't any rules.
When you can't track people down, they tend to do stupid stuff. The crime rate in Germany...
You can track people down in Germany, actually. Other than in the US, where there's a census every 10 years, where people voluntarily submit information about where they live and other personal information, residents in Germany actually have to be registered at the Einwohnermeldeamt, the registration office. If you move to a new place, even if it's within the same city, you have to go there and register your new address by law, and refugees too are registered there with an address.
The crime rate in Germany...
So what if you're a criminal? Can you just not? Or unless you're going to be a criminal that obeys the law. Like,
must make it a lot easier for to be tracked down.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's just, I'm thinking Faulty Towers. Hors d'oeuvres must be obeyed. Sorry.
Hors d'oeuvres must be obeyed.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
But it's just it's interesting. I feel like these are all vague generalizations. And which that's all you have to go on until you have the boots on the ground over there. Like,
yeah.
Okay, you can argue like the refugee status. That's given to a lot of people. Usually in our Northern European countries, they've taken a lot, and that refugee status kind of encompasses a lot of stuff, right? And I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting for me to see her reaction to some of these not a rebuttal. Would it be considered a rebuttal? Kind of.
Yeah, this is kind of a rebuttal of that video.
A rebuttal, not even a reaction. It's more of a rebuttal. But
yeah,
but it's just interesting because okay, she's the one that I'm not questioning because she knows.
Right, she lived in Germany till 22.
Yeah, you want to ask someone like this, so okay. I mean, I'm very interested to see how this video goes. I'll shut up. I'll let it go. It's gonna be a long effing video as is.
Yeah. You say you're gonna shut up, but let's just give it a minute or so.
Germany for 2018 was 6,710 crimes for every 100,000 residents. That's up from 4,200 per every 100,000 residents in 2014. And
Okay, that's just a wrong number. The first one is correct. There were 6,710 crimes per 100,000 residents in 2018, but then he's saying that it went up from 2014, which is the year before the refugee crisis, and that's wrong. He says that there were 4,200 crimes per 100,000 residents in 2014, but it was actually 7,530. So it actually went down compared to 2014. Not sure where he got that wrong number from, 4,200, because I couldn't find that anywhere.
And when the 2020 numbers come out, they're looking to be higher.
That's wrong again. The crime statistics for 2019 were actually just released this week, so after he published the video, but still the trend had shown that crime rates have been going down in Germany for years. And as expected, in 2019, Germany had 5.43 million crimes in total, which means the number decreased by 2.1% compared to 2018 and is the lowest number since 1992.
There was a sharp increase in the number of murders committed in Germany, with 901 murders recorded in 2018. That's the highest since 2000, when there was 930.
Okay, sharp increase, I'm not sure if I would say it like that. First, the numbers that he mentioned are the numbers of attempted murders and not the number of people who were actually killed. I'm obviously not an expert in this field, but I just feel like that the number of attempted murders could vary a little bit from year to year, just depending on how cases are treated in court, whereas the number of people who were actually killed is definitely not open for interpretation from year to year. And that number did indeed go up in 2016 and 17, but it was still much lower than in the early 2000s, and for 2019 it's actually the lowest in a very long time, with 245 people killed in total.
Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen had the highest regional crime rates in the whole country. Ask any German like I did, and they will tell you it all changed in 2015. About the same time, hundreds of thousands of refugees began entering the country from war-torn Syria and other places like that. The number of
Okay, well, as I just showed you, the crime rate did go up a little bit after 2015, that's true. But from my personal experience, what I actually observed on the streets, in society, I didn't actually see any more crime personally. But what I did observe was that the way that crimes that were committed by people who were not German, so like refugees and other people who immigrated to Germany, were reported in the media. That changed a lot. So again, if you look at the numbers, the crime rate did go up a little bit in the years after 2015, but then it went to a new low after that and is now lower than the crime rate before 2015.
the number of murders.
Now hear me out though, because I will stick up for what's his name, Briggs.
Yeah.
He's talking about individual provinces or states or counties, right?
Yeah.
Not Germany as a whole. He said in these two specific areas they went up,
Yeah.
right? And that the graph that Feli has is Germany as a whole, right? I think that's
Yeah.
the same graph we're showing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure before I put my foot in my mouth later on down the road.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Murders increased by 14.6%, and the unauthorized use of another person's body rose by 8%. You know what that is? I can't say it because I don't want to get demonetized.
Okay, I'm not sure what numbers he's referring to here because I couldn't find those. But again, murders actually did go up a little bit after 2015, but are now lower than any number listed since the 90s. And what he means by unauthorized use of another person's body has actually been going up continuously for years, starting way before 2015. But this is something that's always stated in those reports, and we also all know this, that more and more cases are being reported nowadays. It doesn't necessarily mean that more things are happening. It's just more things are getting reported, which is good. You know, like the Me Too movement was in 2017. Of course, most of those cases still aren't reported to this day, but it means that these numbers aren't very reliable and also not comparable.
Yeah, that last part, that's a little shock value that Briggs added about the unauthorized use of other people's bodies. Like, yeah, that's a good way of putting it, is more people are coming forward and reporting it, and it's not exactly going up.
Yeah,
Or maybe it is, I don't know. That's just it's a bit wonky.
It's a fickle data point, and that's
Yeah.
for anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's for anywhere. So if that's yeah, I don't know, but like you said, I think that's a shock value because it's about the right time in a video to add something to retain viewership.
Right, at number 10. Here we go. Number
Yep.
9. Or number no.
Yeah.
Number 9. Graffiti. A stroll through the streets of Berlin quickly revealed why it's sometimes referred to as the graffiti capital of Europe. When the
I didn't know that, actually.
Berlin Wall came down in the early 1990s, graffiti artists and taggers had to find new places to apply their art. Now, keep in mind, most of the time they're not artists, they're a-holes. Just about any building, wall, or surface has become fair game to these clowns. A task force...
Okay, just because any type of building or wall has become fair game doesn't mean that any type of building or wall has graffiti on them.
Spokesman estimated the property damage caused by graffiti in Berlin is about 35 to 50 million euros a year. Berlin's special anti-graffiti task force wasn't even formed until the early 1990s. The task force is underfunded and sort of useless. The German capital averages about 15 arrests a week for graffiti, with
That's
fines
a lot.
ranging from 100 euros, about $135 American, to several thousand euros. What they need to do is chain gang these dudes on a graffiti cleanup detail. That'll fix them. Could you imagine being chained to other dudes cleaning up graffiti you put on there a week before? All your friends coming by making fun of you? Yeah, that'll stop it.
What the fuck?
I think that would be hilarious. Chain gang them. Hell yeah. That's something that they should totally do.
I don't know,
gang
man.
of graffiti artists. I personally don't mind graffiti.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. It's a form of artistic expression. They're not really harming anything unless they frickin' swastikas there.
Well, as long as it's not like gang tagging, because then that's
Right.
different. Then that's a way to mark your territory.
Right, putting up like an MS-13 sign or something.
Yeah, like tagging is it's very I would say synonymous with like gang culture here. You know, but there are some tactful pieces that are done. In fact, some places, the second time I mentioned this city in Baltimore, that have commissioned really talented graffiti artists to graffiti a side of their building or paint.
Yeah,
but it's graffiti.
Yeah. It's art. It's classified as art.
Yeah.
And I grew up near train tracks, and when a train would come by, several of the train cars had graffiti on them.
Yeah.
So that kind of normalized graffiti for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what Feli's got to say about it.
Okay, so I did not check those numbers, so I'm sure they're accurate, but I just don't really see why this would be an actual reason not to live in Germany. He also only mentioned Berlin, which is the capital of Germany, but it's not very representative for the rest of the country. I've personally never considered graffitis a major problem in Germany or anything that like lowers the quality of life in any way. I mean, yes, especially in bigger cities, they definitely are on certain buildings and bridges and sometimes on trains, and I'm sure they do cause a lot of damage, but I just don't really see that as a major problem in Germany.
I think it's Briggs being a Karen. I'll go with Feli on this one.
Yeah, it's not like that. There's a lot of graffiti in Berlin. Like, nope, not going there now. What? What? Yeah, that's not a reason.
No. Like, if that was a reason, I wouldn't visit any city ever.
Yeah, I feel like that's bottom of the barrel. Like, he started strong, and now it's gonna be like, what? They don't put ice in their drinks. Like, I take that over graffitiing the buildings. Like, wait, they don't? Never. You know, that's different. But graffiti, I'm fine. I'm fine with graffiti.
Yeah. This next scene's got a public outhouse.
Oh God.
Porta john, porta toilet, whatever you call it.
Number 8, pay to pee. This one doesn't have anything to do with the red light district, which I'm sure that goes on there. It's just that's not what I'm talking about here.
Okay.
You have to pay to use the public.
But
Yep.
I think that's Amsterdam. That's not
Yeah.
Berlin.
Yeah. Oh God.
Public restrooms in most of the cities in Germany. It's about
Most?
50 euros,
Sure.
55 cents American.
Okay, he just said it's about 50 euros, 55 cents American. It's definitely not 50 euros, it's 50
50
cents.
euros. Good
And
God.
to make the week
That'd be a very expensive piss.
That would be too much. People would be keeling over dead if they like, oh no, I'm not paying no 50 euros. And I like how it's like 50 euros or 50 cents American. Like, damn, when did our dollar get to be so strong then? Like, I doubt it, bro.
Yeah, no. I I think he meant to say like 50p or something.
50p maybe.
Yeah. He just misspoke there.
50 euros. Jesus Christ, dude.
That's one expensive P. What's the toilet made out of? Gold?
Yeah.
wee, as my son used to call it. A couple of coins ensures that the attendants are making the money that they need to make it worth their while to keep these places clean. They're very clean. You have to pay everywhere, from a train station, stores, and even to restaurants. Airports.
Okay, yes, you have to pay at a lot of places, but especially with restaurants and stores, I feel like I hardly ever see that. If anything, I feel like it's at restaurants and stores that are located at a place where they know that a lot of people are going to use their restrooms that aren't actually customers, if that makes sense. But it's not very common at a restaurant. Like if you're eating at the restaurant and you use their restroom, you won't have to pay for it.
Airports are the rare exception to the pay-to-pee rule. If you ever hear someone say WC or water closet in Germany, they're referring to the restroom.
WC is what we call it.
Because it's like the size of a closet and there's water in there, I guess. Or you're making water. Who knows?
Okay, so yes, paying to use the restroom is a thing in Germany, and I know that a lot of people who visit Germany from other places complain about that, but it's not always mandatory, as I just said. So especially at rest stops on highways and sometimes at train stations, this actually is a thing that there's a system in place where you actually have to pay. There's going to be a turnstile and you have to put in usually 70 cents to go through the turnstile. But then afterwards, you're going to get 50 cents back as a coupon that you can use at any of the connected stores. But those bathrooms are always extremely clean, so that's what you get in return. For regular restrooms though, it's either free or there's going to be a person from the cleaning staff sitting outside the restroom with a little tipping plate, and when you leave, it's common courtesy to give them some of your change. And since Germans still use a lot of cash to this day, people usually do have change on them. In very rare cases, they have a sign sitting there saying how much they're asking for, but in my life, it's never actually been a problem if you don't have enough change on you or if you don't have anything at all. You can still use the restroom, just maybe say you're sorry when you leave.
Say you're sorry?
I will never
Blasphemy.
apologize for going to the bathroom in a bathroom where there's a designated place to bathroom and I bathroom. I feel like that's a mission accomplished. I'm not ever apologizing for accomplishing my goal. Like, whether I pay you or not is beyond the point.
Yeah, and with all that sausage, pretzels, and beer around, yeah, you're lucky I'm not going elsewhere.
Yeah, because that yeah, but I get it though, because hey, listen, I will the price definitely is used to maintain the bathroom.
Yeah,
And so that is a very understandable, and that is okay with me. If I had to pay 50 cents and make sure that bathroom is immaculate, then yeah, all day, worth it.
yeah. It's like it would be like the Cadillac of bathrooms.
Yeah,
is the ones in Germany. The only
That's-
it's like Buc-ee's. Like you've been to Buc-ee's before. Did you use the bathroom while you were there?
I don't even remember. I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so.
Oh, because they have some of the best bathrooms in the
they?
entire world.
That's
yeah,
the next. That's the next time I have to stop in the bathroom.
It's a Cadillac of commodes right there.
Hell yeah.
So just saying, it would be. I guess they borrowed a lot of German ingenuity with that because a lot of German immigrants were from Texas, went to Texas. So maybe that was a leftover idea, is making the bathrooms immaculate.
Huh? It's smart. In my book, that's smart. You have a public facility, you charge for it. You know, I know it's a little bit inconvenient, but in the long run, it's clean. That's what matters.
100%.
Number 7, long-ass words. German, as in the case with most Germanic languages, gets out of control with compound nouns.
Go ahead, say it, man.
Oh my god. Yes, I love that. Oh yeah, don't don't move to Germany. Why? They have long ass words, bro. Oh, in that case, fuck that place. You know, like what? I love that he put that on the list. Oh my god, we gotta read the comment section of his original video.
Yeah,
I bet
yeah,
people are up in arms.
yeah.
Long ass words. That's so ignorant. I love that. It's just so stupid. Oh,
If we remember to do it, we'll go back and read
yeah.
those comments.
Jesus.
They
Yeah.
combine multiple words into one long word to name or describe something. This is totally weird to English speakers. It's almost like they're doing it to F with us.
Okay, so this is true, but I promise we're not doing it to F with you. The reason why German words can get so long is that when we form a new word out of two existing words, we leave out the space. So while in English you say police car and spell it as two words, we say Polizeiauto in German and spell it as one word.
Swear to God, at 80 letters, the longest word ever composed in German is, and I don't even know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to spell it for you. Buckle up.
Oh my God.
Berberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberberber head office management of Dunabi Steamboat Electrical Services. Yeah, I'm totally confused at this point too. Mark?
Yeah, me too. And I actually didn't know this word before this, but I know you guys probably want me to say this now, so let me try. Donaudampfschifffahrtselektrizitätenhauptbetriebswerk. Donaudampfschifffahrtselektrizitätenhauptbetriebwerk Bauunternehmer Beamtengesellschaft. Oh my god, I did it! So I didn't know this word before this, but I looked it up and apparently it was actually in the Guinness Book of Records until 1996, but then they cut it because it's not actually a real word. It doesn't have a real meaning. It's just made up.
Mark Twain.
Oh. and then you say they just don't do it to F with us. What did you just say there? Like, It's not a real world. It's made up. You sure about that? I'm just like, what happened to the period? They're like, you see this period that creates order from chaos? Take it and just throw it away. And we're just going to have this a beast of a word. Oh, my God.
I'm glad we stopped with supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Any more than that, then you got us lost.
Yeah, I'm fine with that being our longest thing. But that's too much. I don't have time to just sit and just stand by while you get through that word. Like, if you had to use it in a sentence of like Gesundheit, I gotta go live my life. Like, you can finish here on your own, but I'm leaving because I obviously asked the wrong question.
That reminded me of when she was trying to say that very long word. Do you remember that commercial for this commercial with the elderly couple and the guy could not say baked in a buttery flaky crust? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Baked in a buttery, and it just could not get it right. Which is my favorite, most funny thing of all time is people trying to pronounce things and just cannot get it. Like, there was some meme thing of like Alonso Laron when he said something like, "Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant?"
Oh, the one where he's like singing?
Something
is that the
like
one where he's like singing all the mispronunciations of or misspellings of the pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's what that reminded me of.
100%. That was, but yeah, that's a ridiculous word. I'm sorry. I won't allow it.
Me neither.
expressed his views bluntly in an 1880 essay. He said, "The German language is awful." He argued a gifted person could learn English in 30 hours, French in 30 days, and it would take German 30 years.
Okay, German is definitely difficult to learn, but I would not say it takes 30 years to learn it. Definitely a few years and then some pretty big commitment to become fluent. But I do know a lot of Americans, or I don't want to say a lot. I do know Americans who are fluent in German and don't even have an accent, so it is possible.
Alright, and that was another video that I saw and that recommended. It was like Pennsylvania Dutch. Like a lot of them speak, that's a German style, and apparently she can understand that. If y'all want us to check that out, let us know below.
That would be an interesting one because that's technically US based, but because it's from over there.
Yeah, and we also know that they can make some pretty damn good food.
And furniture.
And furniture. Yeah, those Dutch markets. There was one in Annapolis, there's one in Laurel. Good stuff.
Yep.
Number 6. Brutal taxes. Germany's strong public services, employee protection, healthcare services, and being a welfare state come at a cost. Taxes here are some of the highest in the world, with those earning a little over 52,000 euro, which is about 58,000 American, paying about 42% in income tax.
That's
then
true.
you have a social security payment and a 19% rate on value-added tax.
Yeah,
Professionals
Mehrwertsteuer.
should be ready to say goodbye to almost half their paychecks. You may find your mandatory social security contribution costing more than your rent. In addition to this, there's a solidarity surcharge, which is a 5.5% tax to cover the continuing costs of integrating the states of the former East Germany. As many
Der Soli is what that's called.
the other countries, Germany allows a variety of deductions that can lower your total taxable income, but still, it's pretty brutal. In addition to the various forms of income tax, there's also a series of sales tax that significantly impact both individuals and businesses. Now get this. This is a great idea. They actually tax the churches. You know that's a hustle. I mean, it's great if you want to not tax the churches, but far too many churches are taking advantage of this. It's kind of a joke at this point. All in all, there are approximately 30 different types of taxes, including taxes on inheritance and real estate, motor vehicles also. What I'm trying to say is Germany is like my cousin's ex-wife. It gets half your money and has doubled in size since the fall of the Soviet Union.
Okay. Well, it's
I'm sorry. Wow. Wow.
So I guess he wasn't a fan. That's great. Saying what did you say? Like my cousin's ex-wife?
My cousin's ex-wife got half of everything and has doubled in size since the Soviet Union. Look, I have an ex-wife too. I'm not saying that kind of stuff about her.
Oh, man.
Plus, I couldn't say that, but anyway, I'm going down a slippery slope here. But let's talk about the taxes here.
So this is real. This is real. This is like out of all the craziness that we've just this is the one fact that I would have everyone pay attention to. You know, this is one of those first questions I ask if I'm going to move over somewhere. Like,
Is taxes.
it's taxes. How is it? You know, but
Yeah.
that's
if
interesting.
They seem to go towards a lot of good stuff over there. I mean, I'll let Feli explain it a little bit, and I'll reserve judgment. But my guess is that it goes towards things that make Germany great and better.
If the cost of living is low, which I highly doubt. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Germans pride themselves on very quality things, quality-made things.
Right.
So
and
that comes at a price.
Yeah, and doing it efficiently too.
Yeah,
So-
and so I'm thinking numbers like, okay, if I give up, let's say 40% of my income, that goes to reasonable things. It makes sense. But then what's left, can I live off of that?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the real question.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's see what Feli has to say about it.
It's true that Germany does have really high taxes, so I guess that actually is a valid reason not to live in Germany. But you do also get a lot in return as a resident, like free education, for example, a good and affordable healthcare system, good infrastructure, and so on. And yes, churches are being taxed in Germany, but it's not just the churches, it's also the residents if they're registered as a church member. Remember how in my 5 Things Part 2 video I mentioned that in Germany you're never asked for your race on forms? forms? Well, what we do have, though, that isn't a thing in the US, is that you're sometimes asked for your religious denomination on forms. And if you're baptized, you're automatically registered as a member of either the Catholic or the Protestant church in Germany, and you have to pay church taxes. If you don't want to do that, you have to actively leave the church, so like end your membership. But if you want to get married in a church, it's a requirement that at least one of the two partners is a church member.
Number 5.
Oh my God.
Man, there's this video is being shown by at least one person that lives in the evangelical South, where there's a church almost on every street. If we had revenue from all of those churches, we would be living in a fucking utopia.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that you have to register as either Catholic or Protestant if you've been baptized.
And you have to pay a church tax. And then the catch is, and if you're not a member of the church and someday you might want to get married in a church, you gotta be married to someone that's been paying those church taxes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's wild.
That would never happen in the States.
That would
never.
Be, oh God. Could you imagine the uproar? It would be like nothing you'd ever heard of before.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
both
crazy.
of us, I think, would have very different reactions to it. I would just sit there with a beer and a penguin and just watch it burn to the ground. And that's just me, though.
Oh no, I'll be with you. Who do you think stole the penguin?
Yeah, steal the penguin.
Yeah.
So
you don't just catch one in the wild around here.
Right. Go up to the zoo, something like that.
But no, that's pretty interesting. That's actually very interesting. That the church get taxed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That blew my freaking mind, man.
Germans love their cash. Anybody used to carrying a wallet full of plastic should know this. Many shops in Germany only accept payment in cash, and offering a debit card will just get them to shake their head at you and tell you no, or point to one of their, ATM machines where you gotta get the cash and give it to them. And those ATMs, as we all know, have pretty steep fees. This is changing a little bit, but they're well behind US and most other industrial countries. Germans simply find it easier to keep track of their spending when they use cash. A study found that the average German wallet contains about 103 physical euros, about $115, more than 3 times the figure in France. Cash is still a means of payment in some 80% of the point-of-sale transactions in Germany. What it is Germans, they don't trust a lot. They don't trust a lot of technology, apparently. It's privacy and the rule of state. They're just very against that stuff, so they like to use their cash and keep their transactions to themselves. Of all the purchases made in Germany in 2018, just 20% were made with cards. That's the lowest of any country.
Okay, so first of all, if you're interested in this topic, you should definitely watch my video on money and payment differences, linked in the info box below. It's true that Germans still primarily pay with cash when it comes to everyday purchases like at a store or a restaurant, but it's not true that we don't trust technology. We definitely use cards a lot less, but bigger payments like rent or bills or mortgages and things like that are almost always made via online banking, much more than in the US. Making a big payment with cash would actually seem sketchy to us, and checks are almost non-existent in Germany. It's also not true that you can almost never pay with your card at the store. You usually can, actually. The only exceptions would be things like little kiosks or bakeries or things like that. And at restaurants, it's often not possible at all, or there's often a minimum purchase requirement.
Yeah, that's interesting on both sides of both Germany and US. Like here in 2024, I can pretty much use my card anywhere, even at small mom and pop places. You could still use your card. The technology has come that far in small town USA. But I just, no matter where you are in the world, just seeing the physical money in front of you will make you either not spend it or spend it all.
Yeah. But like you said, I went to a farmer's market last week, and I was able to use my card. Everyone. I mean, there was the same can be said if you flip it around for over here. It's like you whip out cash. People are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Just, do you have a card? Does it, they prefer card transactions over cash.
Yeah, it's just use your phone. I have
Yeah.
Google Pay, or
Crazy.
most people have Apple Pay. You don't even need to carry a wallet with you anymore. And yes, most big transactions, rent, mortgage, are done online banking. Not pay them in cash.
Yeah, I pay with gold. Just take the little bit of gold that I found. Here it is.
Yeah.
Should be enough.
Here, I'll transfer you some Bitcoin too.
Bitcoin. Yeah, right.
Man.
Number 4. Winters are too cold. The German winter is notoriously long, gray, and cold. The average daily temperature is around 0 degrees Celsius, which is 32 Fahrenheit. It's also rainier and windier because of the Atlantic Ocean and cold air masses from Russia. They also get these cold waves from Siberia, where temperatures can plunge to minus 20 degrees Celsius, which is minus 4 or 5 Fahrenheit, in much of Germany. The summers are nice, and it's a great time to visit Germany. From mid-May to September, you might actually forget how bad the winter was. December is one of the coldest months in Germany, with chances of snow relatively good, like every single day, and temperatures get below freezing for most of the month. My uncle was stationed in Germany for about 6 years, I believe, and he said he'd never seen winters like that. Just bone-chilling, where your bones ache.
Okay, this is actually pretty far away from the truth. Germany is not known for amazing weather, obviously, and it does rain a lot, but I've lived in Germany for 22 years of my life, and what he just described is not what our winters are like. In Munich, which is like an hour away from the Alps, we definitely did have winters with a lot of snow when I was a kid, but it's really becoming less every single year. In the past few years, the winters there have actually almost always been exactly the same as here in Cincinnati. So if you know what Cincinnati winters are like, you know what it's like in Munich. In January 2019, Munich actually had a lot of snow, so much that trees collapsed and streets were closed and stuff like that. But then this past winter, they actually had no snow at all. And snow almost every single day in December. I mean, I wish. We haven't had a white Christmas in Munich in years. I don't honestly even remember the last time we did. It's usually been really warm on Christmas these past few years. Regarding the numbers that Briggs mentioned.
Yeah, I can't remember a white Christmas ever.
But, that's location where she is.
Right.
You go all the way up north, Germany. Yeah. That's the same thing like over here. It'd be like someone from Florida making a video about their winters. Opposed to someone from New York talking about their winters.
Yeah.
Same country, completely they winter different.
Yeah, I was just looking, trying to compare the longitude of Germany with where it is in the U.S., and it's about on par with Cincinnati, Cleveland, even like New York and southern Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's very on point with that. So
yeah, that's a ridiculous point. That's a ridiculous point to make. Like, the southern part of a country is going to be a little bit warmer.
Yeah, that's just a given.
That's just a given, no matter where you are. I mean, I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, that's quite opposite. The more southern you get, the colder it gets.
Yeah, something like that.
The average temperature in the winter in Germany is definitely not 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Not sure where he got that number from. The real number is 4.1 degrees Celsius, which equals about 39 degrees Fahrenheit. That's actually about the same average winter temperature as in Tennessee, for example. In Ohio, the average winter temperature is 30 degrees Fahrenheit, so much colder. And yes, I actually have experienced temperatures of as cold as minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit in Munich, but that was maybe like twice in my life, and I have experienced that in the US too. So it seems like Brick's uncle must have lived in Germany decades ago, and apparently in a region that's especially cold, and I would assume that he's probably from a warmer region in the US. Not sure.
Number 3. Air conditioning. Germans are very environmentally conscious and would shy away from using an appliance that uses so much electricity. Less than 10% of all European households have air conditioning. That's compared to 90% in the United States. Yep, that's it. It's official. I will never live in Germany. I love air conditioning like a sailor loves his rum. I've actually caught myself wanting to write epic poems about my air conditioning during hot summer days. European air conditioners are already among the world's most efficient, and these people still won't use them. Meanwhile, at my house, I'm looking for AC that uses more power. I find it hard to communicate properly in hot weather. I don't know what that is. I need it cool. I can never live in Germany during the summer. Air conditioners' energy consumption was among the reasons cited when German officials rejected proposals to install cooling systems in the schools.
Okay, so this is true. We usually don't have air conditioning in our houses. If you'd like to know more about this topic, you should check out my video on 6 things that the US can learn from Germany, because I actually talked quite a lot about air conditioning and windows in that video. And to Germans, it's not just that air conditioning needs a lot of power, we also just don't like it as much for some reason. Sometimes it definitely can be exhausting in the summer without air conditioning, but German summers aren't as hot and as long anyways. It's usually only hot for like a few weeks. Also, our houses are usually built out of bricks, which means that they're insulated a lot better, which means that they don't heat up as quickly in the summer. And also what we do is that we open our windows a lot at night when it's cooler and just let the cool air inside. But yeah, if you need air conditioning in your life, Germany or Europe in general is definitely not the right place to move to.
Yeah, take away AC, bro. I don't know, man. I would.
Yeah.
I don't. That is a necessity. Like,
yeah.
call me whatever. I've been in those places without AC, and I've remembered the places I've been with AC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
because your brain didn't melt in those places with AC.
yeah. Without AC, holy crap, that's rough. And like, open the windows to let the heat storm in. No, thank you. You know, I get it. Northern Europe, I get it. You guys get a pass. You know, like, I get it. Why would you spend a lot of money, because they're not cheap, for something that uses high energy and you only really need for like 2 months? I get that. I understand that. But down here, like down South Maryland and South, take out the AC, people start dying.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No, I'm not even playing.
Yeah, pretty much. Here in North Carolina, it's the same too. And it's even worse for you in Maryland because you're closer to water. And the common saying is, it's not the heat, it's the humidity that gets you.
100%. Give me 100 degrees and dry heat, then 90 degrees with 90% humidity.
Mm-hmm.
Any day.
Yep. Mm.
Number 2, everything's closed on Sundays. Sundays are a day of rest for Germans, and most shops you'll find are closed. Doesn't have anything to do with religion, it's more of a tradition. There's a law which restricts loud noises such as vacuuming, drilling, slapping each other around, or playing loud music, even in your own home, on Sundays, especially between the hours of 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Play your stuff too loud then, or get weird, you're gonna get a visit from the man. Now this holds true for tourists and hotels. Don't be loud on Sundays. Other than shops that are like in gas stations, train stations, and airports, most shops are closed on Sundays. There's a store closing law that was put into place in 1956, making it a legal requirement for people to have Sundays off. They aren't big on overworking in Germany, which is good if you're a resident. Kind of sucks if you're a tourist, looking for something on a Sunday.
Okay, so this is true. Most stores are closed on Sundays, but places like restaurants and movie theaters and those kind of places are open. And it definitely did have religious reasons originally, not so much nowadays, so that's true. It's not like Germans need that day off to all go to church on Sunday. That's not really what a lot of Germans do. I agree that it can be very inconvenient, especially if you're used to the circumstances here in the US or other countries where you can always go shopping. And it does require some planning for sure, but on the other hand, it can also be really nice because it can be a day where you just spend some time with friends and family, because the vast majority of all people in Germany won't have to work that day. What he said about the law that you can't be loud on Sundays, that's actually true for the whole day on Sunday and also any other holiday. And what he said about the night thing, that you can't be loud from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., or I think it's actually 6 a.m., that's actually true for every single day, not just Sunday. So I guess it's even more extreme than what he said. Here we go,
Wow.
number 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
So don't be loud. Don't be loud at night. I mean, that's just common sense, you know?
It is. I wonder if that's like a city ordinance, because I doubt that they're enforcing that in the countryside.
Right, 'cause, like in the big cities, Berlin, definitely Berlin, because that's a big nightclub city. Like, there's no way that you are closing down at 10 p.m. because you gotta think about the neighbors. They probably partying all night long.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, but that we have that kind of stuff here too. We have the noise ordinance, the noise control. Like, we have that. That's a thing. But not for, like, let's say a nightclub or an establishment.
Right.
But that's just being a decent human being.
Right, not being a jackass
No.
to your neighbors.
1.
And number 1. Nazis are still around. Germany still has Nazis. This time around, they're not paid by the government, so that's a good thing. More than 4,000 attacks on foreigners have occurred since 2015. Some with Molotov cocktails. It's always nice. I read about these weird 1940s books that may have helped give rise to this type of mentality. The books say mothers need to ignore their baby's emotional needs. Now, here's where it gets weird. Joanna Harrer, I believe that's her name, a physician whose books were written during the Nazi era, urged women to distance themselves from their young children. Here in the States, we don't do that until they're like 30 and don't have a job. The books have reached nearly biblical status in some nursery schools and child care centers over the years. The Domestic Intelligence Service estimates that there were 12,700 violent right-wing extremists in the country in 2017. Yeah, so that's not a good thing for Germany. Keep that in mind if you're going to visit or move there. But I just found that whole avoiding your kid's emotional need thing is weird.
I agree. That is weird. But okay. There was a lot in there, so where should I start? So it's true that there have been a lot of attacks on foreigners, especially since the refugee crisis in 2015, but also before that. But fortunately, the majority of all Germans does not identify with that at all. So it's really not like you go to Germany and the first thing you'll see are Nazis. Yes, there are neo-Nazis in Germany, and there is a political party called NDP that has a lot in common with the original Nazi party, NSDAP. But it's very small and it's not represented in any of the state parliaments in Germany or in the federal parliament. In the early 2000s, there was actually a murder series in Germany conducted by a Nazi group called NSU, National Socialist Underground. The trial was very prominent in the German media and I think in international media too, so maybe you've heard about it. But unfortunately, there are neo-Nazis in almost all European countries and in the US as well. Now, the book that Briggs mentioned is definitely not used in German nurseries or childcare centers anymore. He said the books have reached biblical status or something like that. Well, that was during the Third Reich and post-World War II, but that was like over 60 years ago. Those books haven't really been around since like the 70s or 80s, the latest, and I personally had never heard of the book that he mentioned by Johanna Hara. I looked it up, of course, but yeah, it hasn't really been a thing since like the 70s. I'm sure neo-Nazis do read those books. I'm sure he's right.
Which okay, so if it hasn't been around for until the 70s or 80s, since the 70s or 80s, that means if you're in our generation, your parents raised you like that.
Yeah.
Right? That's what that means.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not accessible now, but you were maybe, I don't know. I'm not trying to draw any comparisons, but I'm saying 70s or 80s, that's not that far back.
Right.
It's not that far back, especially when you're talking about history and stuff. Like, that's just a stone throw away.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to us, but to the younger generations coming up, they don't know anything about that.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Hasn't really been a thing since like the 70s. I'm sure neo-Nazis do read those books, I'm sure he's right about that, but neo-Nazis don't represent modern German culture at all. Now, what he said about over 12,000 violent right-wing extremists in Germany in 2017, that's actually true. However, that number refers to people who are ready to use violence, which means that not all of them actually have been violent. And I'm not saying that this isn't a problem for Germany, it definitely is, and so is the rise of another right-wing party, the AfD in Germany, but 12,000 out of 82 million is still a rather small number, and this definitely isn't something that you'll see at every street corner in Germany. So I'm not sure if I agree with his ranking here that this is really the #1 reason not to live in Germany, but to each their own.
Alright, so that's today's list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. You know, maybe you want to stay away from Germany. At least know what you're getting into before you go there. Anyway, don't forget all the links below. If you like what we do here, please subscribe. Give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.
Be nice to each other. Okay, so this was a rather long reaction video, but I hope you guys learned something, and who knows, maybe you agreed with him a lot more than you agreed with me, but I have to say that out of those 10 reasons not to live in Germany, I think I really only agree with 2 of them as valid reasons why I really think that would be a reason not to live in Germany. And that is the high taxes and the weather in Germany, even though his description of our winter was a little bit off, but truth is that the weather isn't the best in Germany. It does rain a lot, it's not very reliable, so I'm actually very glad that I got away from that. Other than that, I'd say that maybe air conditioning would be a valid point, but I personally really only miss that at very hot days in Germany and whenever I want to work out at home. And when you're used to how convenient everything is in the US, it's definitely annoying that stores are closed on Sundays in Germany, and also the normal store hours are a lot shorter too. So what did you guys think? Would you still live in Germany or at least visit it, or did this video pretty much scare you off? Let me know in the comments below.
It would take more than that to scare me off. Get out of here. That's just when you do a top 10, it's opinionated.
Right. It's a lot of it is the opinion of the person making the video, Briggs in this case.
Until the freaking it's on a list, right, for Americans not to visit, it's not safe, then I'm probably going to go. I would be fine going there.
There's more pros to Germany than cons.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest is still on my bucket list. And of course Berlin and Nuremberg, whatever the long ass track is, and the Autobahn, that's still on my list.
Yeah.
Little things like that are not gonna scare me off.
No.
I'll have to open the window during summertime and maybe come around Christmas, even though it might be very beautiful around Christmas.
But to live there is that's a different psychology. You have to think about it all, right? To visit, that's a no-brainer. To live there, I would definitely say the main point, if you're a smart human being, would definitely look at the taxes first, and then the weather.
Taxes and weather.
That's huge, because that's
money, weather.
Money and weather. Everything else is
secondary.
Secondary. But hey, it's good to know these things. Good to hear her perspective on what he was saying, and a lot of it, at least she had a chance to have the rebuttal. And you can even argue, and this is my olive branch to people that either agree or disagree with Feli, like, it's her opinion as well. The piece is opinionated. Her view on that piece is opinionated too.
Yeah.
From her own life. So,
right. The only difference is one is, I guess, has experience from relatives that lived in Germany and still lives in the U.S., and the other grew up and lived the life in Germany. Yeah. So, totally different viewpoints.
Yep, different viewpoints that are both totally valid to them. And definitely going to be interested to see what the comments say about this, because it would take a lot more. Like, I'll tell you something. I went to Venezuela. It was safer than going to Colombia, because Colombia was the kidnapping capital of the world. Now that shit's changed. Now it's do not go to Venezuela if you're not from there and have people there and have armed security. And then Colombia is wide open now. So it's it's, countries on a list of like a do not travel list for U.S. citizens. That's the list I adhere to.
Yeah. Is Germany on that list?
No.
So it's going to take a lot more to scare us off Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, what makes it on that kind of list, and that list is like, will probably not come get you if you get in trouble. That's why they have that list.
Yeah, the only danger I see is not knowing what you're doing on the Autobahn and eating too much sausage and drinking too much beer.
And not having any change in your pocket.
And then no change in your pocket for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Forgot about that part. Damn.
Yep. But anyway, overall, this is a great video. It's a great video. Great talking points, honestly.
Let us know below to our German friends. What do you love about living in Germany, and what do you not like so much about living in Germany? Let's keep that conversation going, you know?
Let us know what's the top thing that you would tell us if we were to live. Would the tax thing be number one? Let me know in the comment section your number one pro and number one con, and defend it.
Yep, that sounds good to me. And after that, consider subscribing, watching another video, and what else, Dan?
Unplug and do something legendary.
See y'all next time.
Later, guys.
Fellas, we could be that mistake. Let's do this.